and welcome to the Peru Travel Podcast. I'm your host, David Kozlowski. Alongside of me is Charlie Thompson.
So, Dave, I'm heading to Peru here in a couple weeks, or maybe a couple months, and I want to know...
Or maybe like a couple years.
Or maybe a couple years.
You gotta shed some pounds. I'm just kidding.
Look, I've got a Peru trip coming up here in the future, and I just want to know, what can I be mindful of? Because if you don't pay attention to your health and fitness for these treks in Peru, you're going to miss out, right? You're missing out on everything around you because you're hungry, you're tired. How do I keep that from happening?
Yeah, man, I think that's a pretty loaded question. I love fitness topics, as you know, so we'll break it down piece by piece, I think. First of all, we know you're going to get back in shape. You're going to get back in the CrossFit gym.
I am.
We're going to get you back there.
I fell off the wagon a little bit.
Off the wagon.
Twice. But look, hey, third time's a charm, right?
That's right. Yeah, man, I think that's kind of like a loaded question because there's a lot of people who are like, I mean, you can't look at somebody and say they're fit or not. I get beat by guys who are bigger than me all the time in the gym, and I think they do great on trails in Peru. That being said, we've got Kevin on our team who is a gear junkie. He's going to be joining us here soon, hopefully. But I think something that we try to think about when you think about hiking and fitness, right? It's a different type of fitness, really. I mean, it's something that you kind of sort of have to train for if you want to not be brutally murdered on the trip. And when I say that, like putting rocks in, a bag or a sack and kind of just like doing a hike, honestly, one big hike would probably be fine. When I say a big hike, we're talking like Wamanu Valley hike where you go 2 days and you hike crazy amount of miles at crazy elevation. But doing some regular hiking, getting that cardio level up, that fitness level up, understanding what it's like to carry a heavy weight. Unless you have a porter carry your stuff too, there's always that option. I think overall fitness level though, like you should be able to run a mile. I won't give you a time because I don't think there's like a specific time, but like I think you should be able to run a mile and be like okay after.
Well, and like be comfortable in your own skin. You know your own limits, right?
Of course.
Like, I know for a fact right now I wouldn't be able to do the Inca Trail tomorrow, but if I wanted to do it in a couple months, that I could prepare myself because you don't want to be hiking up over 15,000 feet, over 4,000 meters on the Inca Trail and be so out of shape and out of breath and lagging behind that you miss all the beautiful sights around you. I mean, you're coming up the last day on Machu Picchu, this historical thousands of years of history, and
you're dead. You can't enjoy it because you're fried.
Exactly. And that's what you don't want to happen. So we're not saying that, you have to be, the number one CrossFit athlete or the strongest man in the world or woman. That's not a requirement.
I think, ironically, I had this conversation with someone recently, and I want to say it was my buddy Eric. His mom, gosh, he's going to hate me if this is not him, but his mom did the Inca Trail, and two porters actually carried her up a hill because she couldn't, and they carried her quite a ways. And they just switch her back and forth between the two different people. But so it's definitely doable. I think if you can run a mile, you're pretty good on the Inca Trail. There's enough breaks that are put in there. There are stopping places for food, which if I was to make a suggestion, I would say bring snacks. It's important to fuel up while you're on that trip.
Well, diving in the snacks.
That's the most country. Dive into the snacks.
Dive right into them snacks. Look, I'm from Tennessee. What do you think? What do you expect?
Yeah. Man, I don't know. We brought Clif bars, beef jerky. That's a must. I love beef jerky, though.
Well, those kind of snacks, though, give me some of the basics. If I'm...
Carbs. Looking for carbs, looking for protein. And that really, I guess, is relevant because I've heard... I don't want to tell people what they should and shouldn't eat because I've got some vegan who's probably listening to this right now. It's like, Americans consume too much protein, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm going to be like, oh, whatever. I just like beef jerky. To me, I like it tastes good.
I love beef jerky.
Yeah, love the beef jerky.
Jack Links. It doesn't matter. Kroger brand.
Yeah. Clif bars are great. They got carbs, but really the carbs and the energy because you're burning a ton of calories doing that hike or any of the hikes, rather. I think... when you're not doing the snack thing, just really trying to eat as much as you can at lunch and dinner just to refuel your body. Don't drink. There's a bunch of idiots who the first night they drink, they get loaded up on beers because the porters, they do drink. I mean, they'll bring beer, they'll sell it to you. And I'll never forget some dumbass drank like 3 beers in the first night or whatever, and he was loaded up, and because you're high in the elevation, and he's loaded up. Next day, he was the last man standing. I mean, he was so far back. I feel like that would be you.
That might be me. Yeah.
I just want to have vacation, Dave.
Exactly. Look, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, we tried to drink. We bought a bottle the last day, second to last day. It was horrible. It was so hard to drink straight booze. Like, we bought like a bottle from somebody that they like, there's along the way you can buy snacks at different posts or whatever. And one had booze. It was awful.
Well, and these porters, I mean, they've been doing this for years. I mean, this is their normal, you know?
I mean, they do manual labor too. A lot of these guys like work in farms. They're locals in that elevation. So, I mean, comparing your level of fitness to theirs is just completely different. And it really comes down to like when you think about athletes, right? Like, you've got a great football player, doesn't mean you can play hockey that well. You got a great guy who can hike all day, but just because he can go run a 10-minute mile or an 8-minute mile or 7-minute mile doesn't mean he's going to hike that great. So really, ultimately, there's really not much you can do to prepare except for go hike. Like, go do a damn hike. I mean, it's find one that's interesting, I guess, one that you enjoy, but go on a hike, go bring hiking boots. A lot of the questions we get to are, I did a day hike or I do day hikes. That's fine. I mean, it helps. But this is typically most of the hikes out there. I mean, what's our shortest one? Like 3 nights? Lara's or something like that. And Salkantay is like a 4-night trek. So, I mean, you're out there for quite a while.
4 nights, 5 days, 3 nights, 4 days.
Yeah, and then the Inca Trail
hike,
too.
You hike what? At least 5 to 6 hours every day.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you get breaks here for lunch, like that, but I mean, you're hiking a long time. So, level of fitness wise, I definitely just go out, do some hiking, make sure you pack a lot of food. You mentioned
boots, so what's some of the other basics? Like, do I need to bring my own sleeping bag? Toothbrush, toothpaste, obviously, but what's some other some things that maybe might slip your mind if you're not used to going on hiking trips where you're camping and you're staying overnight, you're not used to 15,000 feet elevation. Like, what do I need to bring, or what could I rent there? What's some of those basics?
Yeah, jumping off the fitness wagon and getting rid of the 6-pack, we'll go into some food stuff, into some necessities. So, sleeping bag, you don't need to bring a sleeping bag. You can rent one. They're usually about $20 for the whole trip, but at least they are for us. But if you're going to bring a sleeping bag, I didn't bring a sleeping bag when I went. I know people do bring sleeping bags. It really is up to you. It takes up a lot of space in your luggage, which kind of sucks. You asked about bring toothpaste, bring all those essentials, dude. Baby wipes. That is where it's at. Baby wipes, like, they save your life. I hate being gross and stinky, whereas like Kevin, dude didn't shower for like 4 days after we got back from the Inca Trail. He loves to be disgusting. Like, literally one night
he's a manly man.
Yeah, dude, we heard some horror story one night. Kevin got all scared. He's like, God, I'm really nervous. Can I sleep in your guys' tent? And Kale's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like hitting her like, shut up. That dude hasn't showered in like a month. Like, he's not going to come in our tent with us. Like,
I just called him a manly man, and then you said he just got scared.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, to give you kind of a difference too in level of fitness, Kevin is like 12% body fat, something crazy like that. I mean, he obviously has gained some more since he hopped on the CrossFit bandwagon, but I'm no 6-pack by any means. And Kayla, who is the smallest of us all, my girlfriend, she was the one who died the hardest. And I think that really comes down to she just had never hiked before. Like, she did some hikes with us, but she never did a hike, like a 2-day backpacking trip or a 1-night backpacking trip. So Kevin was above me, but Kevin did a lot more hiking and camping than me. Your first hike that you do, don't let it be the Inca Trail. That's actually probably the biggest tip I can say. Is like, don't let your first backpacking trip where you go hiking be the Inca Trail, because you won't enjoy it. And I say that because when I did Wamani Valley, I wrote that blog post about it. It was miserable. Like, and everyone's like, when we sent that out for revisions, everyone's like, oh, you got to make it sound somewhat good at the end. And I was like, you guys, though, it was miserable, because that first time you do it, it's awful. It's just horrible. You can't really enjoy it as much as you can the next one and the next one. I'm pumped. We're going to go back out to Peru. We're going to take Charlie, do some hiking, do some sightseeing and stuff like that. And when you think about it, 5 days, like that is our trip. I mean, we're literally going to be in Lima for 2 days, go to Cusco, spend a day at Cusco, hike, spend a day or two in Cusco, fly back to Lima, dip out. Like, it's a quick trip. The trip is the hike, really.
Right. And that's the whole experience of it.
Right, it is. If you got 2 weeks, go for it. If you got more time, I say, because there's a lot of cool stuff you can see in Cusco, a lot of cool stuff you can see in Lima. Hell, I mean, we want to see the lines. We want to see the rainforest. I mean, there's the oasis where you can go sand snowboarding or sandboarding or whatever. There's so much to do in Peru. It's unreal. You can't hit it all. But, there's obviously the core main tourist production areas. So, yeah.
And really, we say all this not to scare you, not to be like, oh, man, can I do the Inca Trail? Most people can do the Inca Trail, so we're not trying to...
How much do you weigh?
How much do I weigh?
Yeah, how much do you weigh?
285.
285, and how tall are you?
I'm 6'8".
So your BMI is probably like what? Overweight?
I'd probably be considered overweight.
Okay,
I think I'm supposed to hover around like 235, 240.
Yeah, so Charlie, you're 280, whatever. I looking at Charlie, knowing Charlie's physical ability, he could definitely do the Inca Trail. He would suffer greatly, but he could finish it. He'd be just miserable and probably be asking for a smoke halfway up the mountain. Can I have a beer and a pack of cigarettes?
Yeah. And I'm saying this, though, to be like, look, we're not trying to scare you. We want you just to be mindful of these tips and tricks just so you can have the best experience possible. That's what we're all about. Because, again, if you're huffing and puffing, if you're the last guy and you're worried or you're hungry all the time because you didn't bring snacks or you didn't eat enough because you didn't feel good, you're missing out on what this trip is supposed to be about.
There was a quote by Ben Bergeron. I hope I don't butcher it, but he says that a high percentage of people quit early because they feel discomfort without pushing forward to feeling like, so they quit early because they feel discomfort. Whereas if they pushed further that little bit more, they could have much better gains, right? Or growth. And so I've been using that to correlate a lot of things. And so like, while you may feel discomfort training for a trail or a hike in Peru, and it may suck, the payout and reward to that is going to be so much greater going into a hike in Peru because you can enjoy it. And because really it is the most beautiful. I mean, let me think here. Yeah, that hands down probably the most beautiful hike I've ever been on my entire life. Hikes were in Peru. I mean, they're gorgeous. And yeah.
I literally can't wait. I'm just like you guys listening. Like, I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go.
He's pumped up with his Pred socks on too.
Go Preds. All right, one last little thing, because this is a question that we get all the time. When can I book the Inca Trail?
Yo, so check it out. I got one cool for you. All right, we're going to plug it again since we played the last episode. So the Inca Trail, you got to book like 6 months out, depending. It really depends on the government. Typically, it's like 5 to 6 months. And the reason I say that is because there's only allotted 600 passes a day. That being said, those include your porters, your guides, your cooks, everybody, okay? There's only 600 allotted a day. You're going to have a lot of porters, even if 2 people go. You're going to have porters because you're going to have a cook. You're going to have them carrying the food, carrying the water, etc. So a lot of people go on this every single day. That means they book up very, very quickly. But I got one for you that's a little bit better, is that if you're like a last minuter and you didn't really plan out the Inca Trail, which is fine, there's a trail that goes next to the Inca Trail and it's just as beautiful. In fact, some say it's even more beautiful and less crowded, so you get that more solitude feeling as you're hiking. Salkantay Trail, gorgeous. And if you're going a little bit longer, it's a day longer. But if you're going for the shorter version, the Lares Trail, which is also beautiful. And guess what? They both end up at the beautiful, mystical Machu Picchu, okay? So at the end of the day, you're still ending up in the same place, and your journey might be more intimate, might be more beautiful, might be more whatever. And it's for those last-minute planners who, hey, I'm going to be in Peru in 2 weeks, and we just had one the other day. Like, I'm going to be in Peru in 2 weeks. We're like, crap, well, you can't do the Inca Trail, but we can get you on the Salkantay Trail, and it's just as beautiful. So, yeah, if you're one of those people that you're just like, oh, I didn't want to book way far ahead, I'm going to Peru, hit us up. We'll help you get the Salkantay Trail booked up or the Lares Trail, or if you don't want to do that, you just want to see Machu Picchu, we got that covered. And don't forget, super cheap, the Sacred Valley.
It's worth it.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, listening to, I don't think we really talked about this. We got to do an episode here soon as to why we started Cachi and then really like what our main goals are, and sort of just kind of talk a little bit about the country and where we're at. But besides that, everything that when you guys help us out in terms of booking through us, going through our people in Peru, you're helping a lot of the families down there. We are a big company about giving back. We care about giving back. When you book through us, you're helping a ton of locals, which is really important to us because when we were there, we experienced some things, and we'll talk about that later, but we really wanted to help the locals, help the local communities, and this Cachi is our outlet to do that, our outlet to employ locals, educate them, help them progress, and be successful. So anytime you book through us, you're a part of that success.
So hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, message us. We're down to earth guys. Like, we want to help out.
Dude,
we want to give you.
I would love messages.
Yeah.
Like personal ones. Like we get the questions, but like send us personal messages about Peru or your experience about Peru. If you want to write a blog post about your experience of Peru, let us know what it was like. We'll post it, whatever, man. We just love talking to people about travel. I mean, in the beautiful country of Peru.
Exactly. And we're not some, like I said, we're down to earth. Like, we want to talk to everyone about that. We want to help in your adventure. We want to be a part of your adventure. Like, that's exciting for us. So hit us up, CachiLife.com, Cachi on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and if you want to shoot us an email, info@CachiLife.com. That's all the time we have today on the Peru Travel Podcast. We will see